Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom and some of you might know me as Bowl of Salmon on Instagram. Today we are having a closer look at something really cool. Today we are taking a closer look at the Armin Strom Mirrored Force Resonance. Armin Strom is a Swiss-based independent watchmaker doing some really high horology timepieces. They are a family-owned business where everything from R&D, fabrication, decoration and assembly is done in-house. And I guess it can't feel more in-house than their HQ suggests. Currently, only a handful of watch brands produce resonance timepieces due to the extreme technical challenges involved. FP Journe is one I can think of, but Armin Strom stands apart as the only maison to make it their signature, because mastering resonance is so technically difficult that few brands even attempt it. Now, what is resonance? Resonance happens when one object vibrating at a certain frequency makes another object start to vibrate at the same frequency. This, for example, is why a singer can break glass by hitting the right note. But with watches, we don't want to break things, so to explain what resonance can mean for timekeeping, I'll quickly have to take you back to the 17th century. When you have two pendulum clocks sitting next to each other, they will beat at their own frequency and they will never sync up naturally. Back in the 17th century, Christian Huygens discovered that two pendulum clocks connected by a shared wooden beam started to move in perfect sync because the vibrations that they caused influenced each other. In this example, two pendulums are placed on a shared flexible board, and you will see that after a while they start to influence each other and that they actually start to synchronize. Now, what does this mean for watchmaking? Well, we always talk about how watches run fast or slow. Well, that happens because of the natural vibration of frequency causing the watch to have ups or down. For our tiny mechanical wrist marvels, this can be influenced by a lot of external elements: the position that the watch is in, the temperature, shocks, etc. If the first line represents the ups and downs of the first movement, adding a second movement would show a totally different wave pattern and it wouldn't solve anything. But if you're able to synchronize these two, the variation of the frequency would be more consistent. Thus, your watch will run more consistently throughout the day. Now, the accuracy is still controlled by the watchmaker who regulates both movements of the watch, but the resonance will control the consistency. So for this resonance timepiece, Armin Strom put in two of everything. There's a second movement, so there are two balance wheels, and they are ingeniously linked up by what Armin Strom refers to as the resonance clutch spring. This Batman-shaped spring that creates a flexible suspension mechanism acts as a bridge between the two balance wheels, allowing the movement to sync up. And if you slow this down 4 times, it's just mesmerizing to see. Now, with the technical part out of the way, let's have a closer look at the watch and cover the basics, if there's anything basic at all about a watch like this to begin with. This manufactured green edition of the Mirrored Force Resonance has a stainless steel case and has a diameter of 43mm, a height of 11.55 and a lug-to-lug of 46.6mm. It has a water resistance of 30 meters. Armin Strom always open works their dial, since it would be a crime to hide the movement in the back of the watch. Even the box sapphire crystal allows us to have a peek at all the pretty stuff from the side. The green off-center dial has a fine graining, a satin brushed chapter ring and applied polished baton indices. The watch comes on a super comfortable grey Alcantara strap with white stitching and a small colored accented green side stitch. On my 16.5cm wrist, the watch has some visual wrist presence, and I guess that is exactly what you want with a watch like this. But due to the lug-to-lug being well below 50mm, I found it to be wearing really comfortable. I don't think this could ever be my daily because I simply wouldn't be able to get any work done with this on the wrist. I would just be staring at that sexy dance that is going on in there all day. The manual wound ARF21 in-house caliber is made out of 276 individual parts and gives you a power reserve of 48 hours. Like I already mentioned, there's actually 2 of everything in there. So 2 movements means there's 2 balance wheels, 2 escapements, 2 mainsprings and so on. One movement powers the hour, minutes and first seconds dial, while the other movement is there in support of the other and runs the other seconds subdial. I already talked to you how the resonance clutch spring handles the resonance between the two, but you might wonder where the term mirrored comes from. While if you look closely at the twin running seconds indicators, you will see that one dial runs clockwise and the other actually runs counterclockwise. At 2 o'clock we find a pusher that activates a flyback function that resets the seconds subdials so they run simultaneously. This gives you a visual indication of how your watch is running. On the case back, nothing is obscured here either. After binging 2 seasons of Silo, I can't unsee the raw industrial aesthetic of the plates, the bridges and barrels. Yet, despite this rugged look, there's an undeniable satisfaction in the precision. Every detail of the finishing and decoration is done entirely in-house, by hand. As you might expect, craftsmanship of this caliber, meticulously executed by hand, comes at a price. The manufacturer edition retails for just under 63,000 Swiss francs, making it a rarity reserved for the few who truly appreciate such horological mastery. It's a watch that remains for me the stuff of dreams. It's an absolute honor I get to experience timepieces like this, and I want to thank Claude, Séverine, Garrick and every one of the team at Armin Strom to allow me hands-on with one of their watches. I hope my footage and explanation did your watch justice, and I hope you as a viewer discovered something new. If you want to learn more about the brand and resonance, and if you want to go for a deeper technical dive, I'd invite you to check out the TRTS podcast episode where Claude Greisler explains everything just a lot better than me. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. And interaction is always much appreciated as it just pleases them algorithm gods and helps me reach more viewers and grow the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.